Okay, so again, for those of you that didn't, this is your first time. This is Sandra, and I am Steff. And what we're going to be doing is for this next 4 more weeks, we have a mastermind, what's called on the 15 laws, Invaluable Laws of Growth by John C. Maxwell. And what we'd like to do again is to share with you what we know, and again, use this platform to help each other
Love
discover.
love the professional looks.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah, all homemade. And it's all about just stepping out of your comfort zone here. Okay, thank you, Sandra. Next slide. So we all again met each other and we went through this. We all shared our our what resonated, our pictures that resonated with us. Next slide. Okay, what's a mastermind? Again, what it is, it's just a method of training. We like to use this to help others. Just we're going to go through the book, share little tidbits, and also this is a beautiful time where everybody can share a little bit from their stories and how they have learned from not only each other, or not only from themselves, but with each other. Okay, next slide. All right. Again, we use this learning cycle. So what we do is all our slides are based on learn it, live it, and lead it. And so basically, it's just a paradigm we use to help with this delivery of our training. That's what effective leaders do. Learn, live, and lead. Okay, next slide. And now I would like to introduce Sandra Uko, who will be facilitating our time today. Welcome, Tama.
Thank you. I'm excited. Thank you so much. And today we're on chapter 2. That's the second chapter of the John Maxwell 15 Invaluable Laws of Growth. And this is my copy. If you don't have your copy, please. It's a book everyone should have. It's a book everyone should have. So I just dive into chapter 2 right away. We have 5 laws we're going to be dealing with in this 5 weeks of Mastermind. And we dealt with the first one last week. And presently we are on the second chapter, the law of awareness. You must know where you are now in order to know where you're going. But failing to know where you are, you cannot tell where you want to go. He says you must know yourself to grow yourself. It is only when you know yourself, then you can grow yourself. That's when you know that, oh, this is missing in my life. I need to do this. I need to get this done and right. And once you know what is missing, and that's when you start growing. It's stated, I said, I need to know where I am. You need to know your point A. Where am I presently? And where do I want to be in the next 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 years time to come? Once you know where you want to be, the gap in between where you are now and where you want to be, it's a place you want to, you want to annex. You want to be able to, meet up. It says personal growth isn't a one-size-fits-all strategy for self-improvement. So for personal growth to be sustainable and not feel like it's a chore, because a lot of people feel that it's a chore. And so once you see it as a chore, it's so difficult. You're not doing it with all your heart. It's like you're being forced to do something. It must be fueled by purpose. What's your purpose? You must discover purpose. And to reach your potential, you must know where you hope to be in life. There must be that measure that, oh, this is where I want to be, and this is what I need to do to get to that place. Until you have a destination in mind, you will be up and about. And that's why he says the wind will blow you like a wind, to and fro, not having a direction of where you're going, because you don't seem to know where you want to be in the next 1, 2, 3, 4 years. Until you find or have a destination in mind, your attempts to grow will resemble that of a car spinning around in the mud without making any move. So you must know where I am, where are you now, and where do you want to be? What are your strengths? What are your weaknesses? What interests you? What are the opportunities you have around you? You must know that. It is said that for leaders, everything rises and falls with a leader. And a leader is he who knows it and shows it to all. Meaning we know it and we want to be a blessing to others. We want to share others. Yeah, the wealth of knowledge that we have with others, so that we can be, we can learn from each other and glean from each other. That's what we do. Let's see where we are right now. We're going to be having the polling so as to know and measure and to know where you are particularly. So polling is being displayed. What category do you fall into this group? I'd like to find out, what category would you consider yourself? I don't know what I would like to do. So I feel a bit confused. Some people are in that class, and with this class, this is just to help you stay focused and, keep moving. I know what I want to do, but don't get to do it. I feel a bit frustrated. I'm frustrated. Some people might be looking at that. Oh, I'm frustrated. Some can be like, I know what to do, and I do it. And that is about being fulfilled. You get fulfilled. Thank you. So there's nothing to fear. With these results we're sharing, it's just to help us to get to where we ought to be. It is we're just here to help one another, to know how to harness our potentials and how to harness God's purpose in our life. Everyone God created, God has put something in them. So no one was created not having a skill or a potential or a gift. God has input in every one of us something that causes us to stand out. And that's why we're different. We're all different. And even with the identical twins, they are not alike 100%. There's still something that's different about them. And that's why they said, even with the fingerprints, we are all different. No two people have the same fingerprints. So, and when we see things in different lights. It says, how do you find your purpose? You might want to refer to the book if you have the book on page 34, but these are some of the questions I'll be asking. Becoming aware of your identity. Once you know your identity, you know you want to leave it out. And you want to find out, what's your passion? What's my purpose? That these questions I'll be asking. Do you like what you're doing right now? This is a sincere question from your heart. You can answer it on your own. What would you like to do? What are you doing right now that you love? What would you like to do that you're yet not doing, but you would love to do it? Do you know why you want to do what you want to do? You must know the reason why you do what you do. Why are we doing this mastermind? We want to share from our wealth of knowledge and want to also glean from you. So why are you in this 5 weeks mastermind? You must know why you're here. It is said that when the purpose of a thing is not known, abuse is inevitable. Once you know the reason why you're here, you'll be focused, you will learn. Your phones, your pop-ups and notifications will not distract you. You'll remain focused. I know there are things, we all have different situations we're going through, and we could sometimes be distracted if we allow it. So I want to encourage you that while we're here, let's all be here, let's be focused. It's just a 1-hour program, and after which we'll all, leave. And it says, what would you like to do? So I want to go back to page 34. If you have your book, we might get to see other things. What are your motives to the things you do? Are you doing things because you want to please people? Leaders, we don't impress people. We do things because we want to impact our audience. And that's why we said the audience is the ultimate. It's not about you, the leader. It's about the audience. What do you want to pass to them? What do you want to leave them with? Such that once you're done with your class or discussion, they come craving and looking for you. They don't look at, oh, she's the best, she spoke well. It's not about speaking well. It's about what have you been able to impact them with, such that they have something to remember you for. How do you overcome pains? I know that it is not possible for you to be in this world and not undergo pains. We all have pains in diverse ways. I would share my own story, and if any of you will feel led to sharing your story, you can. 2-3 years ago, I wanted to be a John Maxwell personnel, and I didn't have the funds to go do the program. I wanted my pastor to sponsor me. I was looking for people to sponsor me. So I waited for a full 1 year. I didn't get the rights. I didn't get anybody say, oh, I'll sponsor you, or I'll give you some money to join whatever you have. I was a stay-at-home mom. I wasn't working. So there was no so much funds with me. I had just little funds to spend. So I got tired of waiting for someone looking for help from people because I wasn't getting the right help. So I think this particular day I got thrilled. Every time John Maxwell comes, Monday with Maxwell. Every 12 o'clock, 12 noon, I'm always ready waiting for John Maxwell because I was excited when I see him speak and this is what I want. So this particular Monday, I came online, I couldn't find him. I was like, God, I'm addicted to this. So I started looking for means. I was going to YouTube, Facebook, and say, okay, maybe he's doing live somewhere and I'm not getting the real link. I went and I stumbled across a link that says, if you want more of this, send your details, an advisor will get in touch with you. So I sent my name and everything, and I was called upon. I really did want to do it, but eventually I got to do it because one particular day, my husband came back from work. I told him, guess what? I've registered for the John Maxwell. And the first thing he asked me, he said, where did you get money from? I said, I had to use my credit card. I had to take the bull by the horn. I had to, do what I need to do because this is my life. This is my dream. This is my vision. You can't wait for anyone to push you to your next level. You need to know what you are called to do. What's your purpose? What's your passion? What have you been called to do? Once you know the purpose for which you're here, you will abuse it. You will leave out your potential. You will harness everything God has given to you. It is said the graveyard is a place where you have people with so much ideas that they never, fulfilled. So, and I know that leaders in this group, we are going to use all that God has given to us. We're going to make sure we bless our generation. We're going to be a people of impact. So I don't know if any of you have any story you want to share. What steps did you take to start what you're doing right now? Awareness, action, and accountability. Does anyone has any story? It might not be like my story, might be something else. This is an interactive session, please. I want someone to speak. Let someone bail the cat out of the bag.
Anyone want to speak? Oh, hi, Tama, and hi, Cheryl. Welcome. Great to see you.
Thank you.
Okay.
Does anyone have any story to tell?
Yeah,
Well,
Dan.
I'll share.
Oh, thank you, Dan.
I'll share a quick one.
Thank you.
Again, as I had shared before, the past year has been a little bit challenging for me. Within the last couple of months, though, however, I decided that sometimes if you allow your day-to-day distractions, whether it be troubles, whether it be challenges, whatever the case may be, whether it's work, whether it's family or whatever, by the way, I'm not discounting them as they're not important. They are important. However, sometimes you have to compartmentalize things. And I realized to a point that all these things that, yes, they were important to me, were overtaking what I wanted to do, what I planned to do, what my passion would be. And at some point, I just had to realize that, I have to, and this is part of our first meeting, which is the law of intentionality, is that you have to be not just intent, but you have to intentionally do something about what you want to do in the future. So I took the step into becoming a member with John Maxwell. Toastmasters, I've already been a Toastmaster, and Toastmasters is great, but I wanted to take the next step and to move forward. So how do I achieve this, knowing and realizing that there are many things that are interfering with my day-to-day, with my passion, in fact. And at some point, this is where your law of intentionality has to take over and say, well, I know I have to take care of these. I cannot ignore the things I need to take care of on a day-to-day basis. However, I have to make sure that I have to put time into what I need to do to take care of my passion. So part of overcoming pains, applying the law of awareness, is that I knew what my troubles were or are. I also know what I need to do to take care of them. But I also know that I need to take that step forward. So in a sense, I am at the crossroads that I know what I want to do. and I am taking measures and I am taking steps into doing them. I also know that I can't let go or just drop everything else, my responsibilities. In other words, I have to find that balance. And right now I am at the crossroads, but I am taking that step in finding that balance to make sure that I do not stay stagnant in the day-to-day troubles, because those will always be there.
Sure.
Those will always be there. You can't get
Sure.
rid of those troubles because, and
Mm.
I maybe I'm using the wrong word. I don't want to say the word troubles because those are important things. They're just challenges. They're obstacles that
Yeah.
day to day, and they happen. But I have to go ahead and face forward and move forward. So that's what I'm doing.
Awesome.
Back to you.
Awesome. Awesome. Thank you so much. I appreciate it. Really, there is really no life without challenges and obstacles. We will surely meet them, but they are meant to actually bring out the best in us once we go right into it. And none should stop for any. And that's why with the Martin Builder word, he would tell you, if you have to crawl, please crawl. If you have to walk, please work. If you have to run, run. And if you have to fly, fly. But by all means, make sure you are moving. Make sure you're doing something that is taking you to your journey, your purpose, your passion, so that you don't leave anything to suffer. Just like Dan rightly said, nothing should suffer. Everything should be attended to. But you now determine and decide which one are you going to give more importance to. Which one are you going to be that's going to be of priority? Which one stands out amongst all this? We know pains will surely come. Without pains, you can't have a gain. So no pain, no gain. You would surely go through pain, but it makes you refine. It helps you to also open your creativity. You're able to think out of the box. You're able to do things hitherto you would never have been able to do. And so with this class, it's there to just, help us bring out the best in us. We go through pains, we go through challenges, but God has allowed it for a reason. Because, and it is said that when you are in a class, actually you're in elementary school, what gets you ready to be promoted to a new class is if you overcome, if you achieve what you need to achieve in a particular level. So it is said that if you are in a particular level and you don't learn what you need to learn, you cannot move to the next level. You cannot move to the next stage. So in life, we need to get to know where we are. What do I need to do right now to get to the next level? So the moment you know what you're meant to do, you're able to, like an auto run, you're promoted to the next level. So when we go through challenges, it's only but for a moment. This one will pass. But we've got to be focused to know, oh, this is where I'm going. I refuse to be distracted, because some of those challenges and obstacles are meant to distract you so that you can throw in the towel and say, oh, I'm not going any longer. This is the end of it. But I want to encourage you. They are meant to bring out the best in you. Go through your process and please, during those process of pain, there are processes where you need help from God. If you didn't need help, call for him. He would always be there, because he is there more than enough for you to help you go through your pain and to come out stronger and better. We have an helpful resource, and this resource is free for everyone. I don't know, you can download it. This is just to guide you to have a clear plan for your growth. The Maxwell Leadership app is your interactive, on-the-go digital resource for personal growth. As John Maxwell says, growth requires intentional planning and consistency. The Maxwell Leadership app. You might want to try it. I think you can check the charts if, I don't know, she says she sent it on the charts.
Oh, yeah, it's on the chat. However, it's free. And just to let you know, it's Sandra and I, as Maxwell leader, or any Maxwell certified leader, we don't get any benefit or any monetary benefit from sharing this information. It's free for anyone and everyone. And just to let you know, there are levels of membership that you can purchase, like a regular app. Some apps that you purchase, you can get to the next level of membership. That's what this is as well. But the free one is everyone can access it. And there's a free, there's podcasts. John provides podcasts and A Minute with Maxwell, all different awesome. Oh, there's an assessment on there as well. You can take a leadership assessment for growth. And so this is a new app that was rolled out just on this past conference
IMC.
that I attended. Yeah, I attended. So that's an offer for you as well. Now we'd like to open it up, and it's been quiet out there. Anyone wants to
Yeah.
share what they've from the chapter they've read on chapter 2? Anything that resonated with you that you like to share?
Love to share. We like to hear from you.
Please do, everyone, because I already did it just to get you
Okay.
guys started.
So, well, Cheryl, we don't mean to put you on the spot, but we'd love to hear you speak. If you want to share, Cheryl.
Sure. When we got started with this last week, I just got the book and I read the first chapter, later than I was supposed to.
No, that's
And
okay.
I just wanted, this is my first exposure to John Maxwell material. And I have gone through personal growth programs in the past. And I'm really liking what I'm reading from the book so far.
Awesome.
It's reminding me of a lot of things that I had forgotten, like sense of urgency, how perfectionism really just paralyzes you and not allow you to grow at all. So, because I have a lot of things to do, and I'm thinking, what am I going to gain from being in this session with you, whether to continue or not? But reading the material, I'm so glad that I've decided to continue on, at least for the for the rest of this program that you have going on. And also, I just downloaded that app, so I'm excited to see what it's all about.
Great. That's awesome. That's awesome. Thank you for
you.
sharing. Yes,
Awesome.
Cheryl.
That's great.
Yeah. Yes, awesome. Yes, Tama.
I kind of want
Thank
just
you.
because Dan has been such an encourager to telling his stories and saying I want to say something. So I got to tell you, I really, like I had mentioned last week, I really enjoy John Maxwell. I think he's an amazing leader, and I have followed him in regards to books, and I'm keeping up with this because I think it's great. God always brings back to remembrance what you need to know when you need to know it. So, well, I have a son who's a senior at UCLA. So he's pre-med, and he's actually going back to school. I'm so sorry. Thanks. He's going back to school in the week. But I was just trying to encourage him. He wants to go on to medical school. And again, we're going to support him. We don't know how we're going to pay for it, but we don't care. We'll figure it out. But the idea behind, as a mom, I'm always telling him, you got to do what you want to do. There's got to be a passion. There's got to be a commitment. And it's so amazing because we were reading this law of awareness just last week. And I told him, son, you're going into school, you're taking your MCAT. What kind of doctor do you want to be? He has no clue. He says, I don't know. I don't know what I want to do. I said, son, you got to go ahead. And the typical mom, right? You got to do your passion. And I got to tell you, my God is amazing, because just so happened that morning I was reading page 22 in this book, and it comes back, and the idea behind it is, it says, passion gives you energy. This is what we're talking about. So passion gives you energy. And it says, Thomas Friedman talks about this. He's a Pulitzer Prize winner, right? He says, don't just listen to your head, listen to your heart. It's the best career counselor that's out there. And this to me was super powerful, because I was able to take a picture of it and send it to my son. Of course, with the underlined and highlighted part of it says, do what you really love to do. And if you don't know quite what that is yet, keep searching, because if you find it, you'll bring that to something extra in your work. And that's what I was talking about. So it was like mommy time to tell him, brah, you got to do what you got to do. Where my son was saying, Mom, I just want to try cardiology. I want to try this. I want to try this. And we just came to this understanding of radiology. And how is that? His last statement in here is, it will help make you an untouchable radiologist, an untouchable engineer, or an untouchable teacher. So once again, I'm sharing. I serve an awesome God who gave him some kind of word of the possibility of the radiologist being what my son needs to really consider. So thanks for letting me share. I really appreciate it. But it's amazing. Again, just reminding ourselves how we have to go ahead and go with our passion. So thanks again.
That's amazing.
Very amazing.
Amazing. Awesome.
Very.
Wow. That's awesome. This is, yeah, claim
Yeah.
it.
And that's the reason why you need to know discover your passion.
Yeah.
Once you have the right passion, you're very energetic. You give it all it takes to make sure you go through it. Even when you have obstacles, you keep moving because you know this is what I want.
Yeah.
And it's once you have the right passion, the sky is your starting point. It
Yeah.
becomes easy. Every hurdles, every challenges, you step on them to be able to get to the other level. And you're very positive once you overcome. And that's why we said lead to celebration. Once you have things working out for you, yes, those small victories, celebrate them because they keep you
Yeah.
motivated. That since you've been able to do this one, whatever the challenges that come your way, you are strong enough to say, oh, this one, this two, I'll bring you down because you've been able to overcome the first and second and third. And so you
Yeah.
keep flying.
Awesome.
Thank you so much, Ma. I appreciate you.
Dan. Dan
That was a
has
great
his hand up.
one.
Yeah, go ahead,
Yes.
Dan.
Yes, thank you. I wanted to go ahead and further encourage Tama. Am I saying your name correctly?
Yes,
Tama,
absolutely.
Tama. Okay, Tama, and forgive me, everybody. I just want to take a minute here just to go ahead and further encourage Tama that just to share with you that we went through the same thing that you went through several years ago. My daughter is actually in her second year of residency, and back as a parent, just like you, several years ago, we were personally me, I was trying to encourage her and say, well, you you should choose what you want to do. But just to let you know so that you have awareness is that the school program that your son will be going through, they will subject him to many different fields. They will send him block by block, send him to the different areas. And this is for him to gain experience, to gain a feel of what his passion will be. So at some point, I wish somebody would have told me this a long time ago at the onset that don't worry what your daughter will pick, because at some point, even if she chooses what it is right now, later on during her third year or whatever year it is, she'll probably find that she'll have a passion for something else in the medical field. So it's good to have something that you kind of have a direction where you want to go, but at some point, don't be surprised that another field may touch you, that may pull you to want to go in that direction. So just wanted to let you know that don't be too concerned. The good thing is that he is in the right direction and the right path, and that's the important thing. And as long as you continue to support and encourage him, that at some point he'll find what that exact passion is in life. Because for one thing, you got to remember this: you have to enjoy what your work will be, and it's not something that's forced upon you. Otherwise, at some point later on in life, if it's not something you enjoy, it'll just become work and you may not have that passion to enjoy what you want to do. And I'm sorry I took that much time, but I just wanted to
No,
encourage you,
it's
Tama,
okay.
because your son is in the right direction. So keep going.
That's
I'm
so
done.
good.
Thank you.
Sorry.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank
Thank
you.
you. We appreciate.
Awesome.
I have something to share.
Oh, Robin wants to share.
Yeah, go ahead, Rob.
So for me, that sentence that said your passion gives you energy, that really kind of confirmed things for me, because over the last year, I've always loved my job. I'm a counselor, but over the last year, I've been feeling very stuck, and what used to fill my tank started to really drain it.
Mm.
And so I put in my resignation for my job, and most people may think, oh, she's quitting, and a lot, I got a lot of that. What are you gonna do? Just this are you really like, what are you gonna do? Kind of thing. And then he says here, sometimes you have to pack it up and call it quits. Those signs tell you that you are pushing yourself, that you are not afraid to learn by trying. And for me, when I put in my resignation, I just felt this kind of sense of relief, although it's, it's bittersweet. It's something that I love to do. I don't know really what I'll be doing. I am going to take time off and do nothing for a little while, but I do know that my passion is adding value to people and lifting people up, encouraging. So I'm sure it's maybe going to look a little different, but whatever the case may be, yeah, just more confirmation about time for that season to end and then moving into a next season. So
Yeah. Awesome.
Oh, that is awesome. That's
Robin.
Go ahead.
Robin, I am so happy for you. Now you might say, Dan, what the heck are you talking about? I just shared with you a little bit of a low part of my life. I don't see it that way. For one thing, you realize that you are at a dead end. You also have been a counselor, so we know that is instilled in you. That's a part of you that wants to go ahead and help others. And that's a part of you that's calling out to you right now to go ahead and move forward. And the reason that you felt stuck or that you felt a little bit lost is because exactly that. Your mindset realized that, hey, this is not going nowhere for me. So you actually are doing something about that. And by you attending this meeting and hopefully opening your mindset to move forward and look in a positive way, this is all a positive moving forward for you.
right.
So please don't look at it as you not knowing what you want. Do what you need to do. Take your time. If you need to take your time, explore what it is that you want to go forward, because actually I think you're on the right path and where you need to go. You realize what you needed to stop. You realize that you need to move forward. You're at the phase where you need to assess, and this is where your self-awareness actually is coming into full fruition right now, is that I need to really dedicate a little bit of time, find where I am and where I need to go. So I'm actually applauding you because you're doing a great job by being here and wanting to move forward. So I'm so sorry I took
No, it's
Don't be
awesome.
sorry.
It's
Yeah,
so awesome. That's why we're here together, to glean from each other, to learn from each other. And just you rightly said it. She's on the right path. She knows where she is now. She knows where she wants to go to. She needs to fill in the gap of where she is now and how to get there. What are the process? So you need to take some time, break it down, find out what you need to do to move you to the next level.
Yep. Thank you.
And I'm so glad you're in this class, and we're sharing this, this moments. We are all learning from each other. That's awesome. Awesome. Anyone wants to share?
Anybody else want to share? Okay, well, I have something to share if nobody wants to share.
You can go ahead.
On page 19, it kind of goes to what really I really resonated with was when John said the catch-22. You have to know who you are to grow to your potential, but you have to grow in order to know who you are. So what's the solution? Explore yourself as you explore growth. So I think this is good, even though we do take the breaks, and even though applying to our pre-med students, you still have to keep moving forward to find out what it is that your passion is, right? Learn. Yeah, we have to keep moving. And of course, during that period, it's the things that are going to light up our world, or we're going to get excited about that. And that's the only way to find out, is that we still got to keep moving forward, right? Or at least, even if it's not forward, at least keep moving. So that was really cool. I really like that catch-22 thing. So keep moving. Yes. Anyone else?
And with Maxwell, it says, we are people of value, valuing and giving value to others. If you don't see value in yourself, you can see value in your neighbor. You can see value in anyone around you. The moment you see value in yourself, you want to have more value. You want to bring yourself to that level. John Maxwell too did not start. He said the very first time he started, it was no good leader. No leader starts being good at the first time. The first time may look bad, but as you keep going on, you get better. And that's why we talk about the compounding effects. What you do today, once you repeat it the next day, you get better. And as you keep doing it over and over and over again, you get better at what you do. There is this compounding effects. You get good. And none of us were born, perfect. We are only striving to be perfect. So if you look at the weather, before you do anything, you will never start anything in life. So I love what Robin did. She took a bold step. She took a dive, and I know, knowing where you want to be, I know God will give you the grace, that level. Every you need to go through together, because there's nothing like learning and learning from you with all of your heart. You're not distracted. You have all the time to be quiet and look inward. Life is lived from inside out. So the distractions and all the noise around you need to be shut down now. You need to look inward and see, what can I do better? What has God called me to do? When and how do I start this process? You must put a date, and we must be accountable. And that's why with the John Maxwell, whenever you want to do anything, it is said, come out to the Facebook page to let people know, I'm doing a 5 weeks mastermind. I'm doing this, so that you're accountable, because you've made it public. Everybody knows that you're going to be having a 5-week mastermind. So there's nothing like, oh, I'm not going to do it again. I'm going to hide. I'm not doing it again. You've made it public. Somebody will come after 5 weeks and ask you, Sandra and Stephanie, did you eventually do your 5 weeks mastermind? Yes, we did. And I'm glad it's a success today. So whatever you want to do, Robin, please start now. If you need help and guidance, you can call us Stephanie. She's much closer than me to you. You can often reach out to her or reach out to me. We're here to assist you. And that's why we said a leader is a person who knows it and shows it to all others. A leader is not somebody who knows it and keeps it to himself. We share it with others. We want others to benefit from it. And we also want to learn from others too. Thank you so much for those encouraging words, Dan, Robin, and Summer. That's been mind-blowing for me. Thank you.
Thank you, Sandra. Anyone else want to share? We have Sherry and Roy.
Sherry has shared.
Yeah, Sherry shared. Sherry.
Yeah, she did.
Okay.
Sherry was the first person to share.
Oh, Cheryl. No, Sherry came on. I know she's working, so she might be multitasking here, but no problem. So one thing I noticed, just kind of sharing real quick, one thing I noticed is my story is when I jumped on, when I was getting ready to retire as well, and a lot of you know my story, when I started getting ready to prepare for retirement, I joined Toastmasters because I knew there was an area in my life that I needed to improve on. And it was a very safe environment that encouraged me to speak in front of people. And so that was a step that I took that I didn't even realize was a growth step. I just did it without thinking. And then it led me to more like-minded people. That's how I got to meet Dan and Jicky and Joe and Dr. Paulette. I met a wonderful group of people that were like-minded, that wanted to learn and be better speakers. And it was a very encouraging and safe space. And then next, I learned how I joined the John Maxwell team. And again, this is not to solicit in any way, but that's what I ended up doing. And I just shared with Sandra that the John Maxwell team has a lot of Toastmasters in there as well. And so now I'm noticing that group of people that I'm learning and getting to know is all like-minded learners, want to share value in other people as well. Significant leadership as well. So it's interesting when it says in the book on page let's see where it says on page 26 and 27, some of the steps: take action, accountability, and attraction. The attraction part is interesting because as you start taking action, moving forward in your growth, being accountable, like Sandra said, saying what you're going to do and having other people ask you and follow up, or did you do it? What happens as a result is you start attracting like-minded people, or you start surrounding yourself with people that are growing or want to grow like you. And then I think the biggest takeaway from that is that we all want to add significance to others or to help others as well. So I think that's so cool. That is so cool. I'm at that spot right now. So anybody else want to share?
Thank you,
Thank
Stephanie.
you,
That was a great
Sandra.
one.
This
Oh.
is Cheryl.
Yeah, Cheryl.
Steph,
Yeah.
so can you recommend which Toastmasters I should go and check out then? If you could email it to me, or
Yeah, sure.
Okay,
The
thank you.
website, yeah, we can do that. Definitely. Yes. What's funny? Okay, can I share? Oh, wait, Sandra, you can share what happened with Dan or last week. Did anybody report out
Oh,
what
yeah.
happened? Yeah.
Dan, okay, I actually mentioned I was going to be having a speech. Everyone communicates, few connects, which is one of the key every leader had to learn, because no one was born a good speaker. We all learned how to speak, and we all learned how to connect. If you don't connect, you cannot influence your audience. So I invited Dan, and I was glad Dan came. Stephanie was meant to be there. I think she has the doctor appointments. So Dan, opted that he was going to represent the team, represent her too. And it was interesting. Dan felt at home, the love and everything. Dan also partook in the table topic that we did. Dan also won an award. It was Fish Out of Water, and also Best Table Speaker. It was awesome. And he felt so treated. He spoke so well about my club, the NBBA in Georgia. He felt like, joining us almost immediately.
Yeah. See, so that's awesome. So Cheryl, just to answer your question, because of COVID, we saw meet in person, but now because of COVID, a lot of Toastmasters had visited other clubs around the world, and so that opportunity grew like a lot for Toastmasters. People are just going all over the world and joining clubs all over the world. So the world is your oyster, whatever they say. But yes, we can definitely help you out and give you some resources.
In that case, can I follow up? Since a bunch of you here are in different Toastmasters, if you don't mind, if you'd allow me to come and visit one day, if you could maybe put in the chat where I can connect with you to do that later on.
Sure, I would.
Thank you.
Yeah. Dan, you want?
Go ahead. I'd like to say something, and thank you for this. One of the things, I became a Toastmaster about 4 years ago, and I hesitated a lot. I wasn't the type to go ahead and speak out in front of an audience, let alone, for 4 or 5 people, let alone an audience or a club. But here I am. It probably appears to you guys that, hey, Dan won't shut up. He can't stop talking now. But that's what Toastmasters does to you. It allows you to go ahead and share things. But anyway, that's not what I wanted to share. It's just that my mouth can't stop talking. But anyway, what I raised my hand for is because about 2 weeks ago, I was driving, and I heard a small snippet on the radio, and actually it was Tim Tebow. That's right. Do you guys know who Tim Tebow is by any chance?
Yes.
He's a Florida Gators quarterback, won the Heisman and came to the NFL, whatever. Anyway, one of the things that he shared was that when you are having a lot of obstacles, when you're finding problems creeping up to you, and you're drowning in your sorrows or whatever the case may be, that one way that he found a way to get out of that rut is to go ahead and help others. And when I heard that, I was like, okay, how does that work? But then he went further to explain. And then I realized that I was going through the same things. The past year has been hard for me. It's been very challenging. And I was drowning in my own sorrows as well to try and get out of it and everything. And then when I heard the Tim Tebow thing, I was not only motivated, I was inspired. It was only like half a minute or a minute of him sharing a little bit of that. But it dawned on me, and this is the message that he shared, was that when you start to try and help others, the fulfillment, the satisfaction in being helped and to share the things that you can that makes that person better, it will only lighten your load because it will, and it will actually help you to move forward. Because for one, you are no longer concentrating in your own trouble so much that is defeating you down. But when you're helping others, you're also helping yourself. So it was just something that I heard about 2 weeks ago that is continually helping me to look forwards. Just thought I'd share that with you, that if you're going through things and you want to go ahead and be able to overcome those obstacles, maybe help someone else. Anyway, that's it.
Yeah, that's awesome. It is said too that when you help people, in return, you're helping yourself. Because those people, you also adding value to yourself. You're strengthening what you know or what you think you know. You're making it and you're strengthening it. And you're also helping them and getting them ready to be of help to you. So it goes beyond. He said, those who hoard information and do not share with others, they are doing themselves a great disservice. So meaning that you don't get improved, you don't impact anyone, you are miserable, you're not happy because there's no sense of fulfillment in you, like you rightly said. And in return, you should circle yourself. You're just in your own world. Nobody's reaching out to you to help you. So it is of value to share what you have. You're also strengthening what you know. It gets clearer to you and you impact others. You are fulfilled. And in turn, you are also helping yourself opening it because you never know when you will need such people. And when you need them, they're also ready to be of assistance to you. I want to thank everyone. In the absence of no other question, we might have to call it a day, meaning that we're finishing a bit earlier than normal. Oh, this 10 minutes to 7. Oh, time goes so fast. So I want to thank you. Anybody, any other voice from our speakers that are here that have not spoken? Roy?
Okay.
And Sherry, maybe you want to say something before we close the meeting today?
Okay, I'll share a little bit.
Thank you.
Can you guys hear me?
Yeah, we can.
All right, great. What I've been doing something interesting as far as like the growth pattern, and it's counterintuitive to it's counterintuitive to my nature of just to plan things out and to have things planned for the whole year or whatnot. I'm actually been trying to say yes to a lot more things and seeing what the limit is. And so allowing myself the opportunity to fail at things if I'm not able to handle it, but just expanding the opportunity. I'm just being able to say yes to opportunities that I usually would just say no to. So it's just a new thing that's kind of developed within the past month or so, just trying to find where my limits are, even in the athletic endeavors. Like, okay, I can do a half marathon every Saturday. Let me see if I can start doing 50 miles on the bike. And that's the athletic endeavors. On the intellectual level, just trying to challenge myself, like, okay, how many classes can I start listening to? And just trying to see where my limits are right now in this stage in life that I'm looking at. So it's really causing me to growth and try to see where the limits are when I'm looking at my life.
That's a great one.
That's awesome. I love that. I love that counterintuitive thinking. That is good.
Yeah.
Very inspirational. Thank you, Roy. Share with us how you're doing, as you're moving forward. I love that. That is so cool.
It
Yeah,
is.
it definitely is. It's because I'm a person that, well, usually in the past, what I'll do is I'll make one habit and then maybe the next year or a couple of months, I'll add another habit onto that. And so I'll just keep adding. But this time I'm purposely trying to disrupt that schedule to just say, what if I just do, to me in my mind is random, but there is some type of purpose in terms of like, where can I stretch my mind to where it makes me uncomfortable? Where can I go to the place of that's not sense of fear, but sense of like, I'm not an expert in this area or I'm not the best in this place. So I want to see if I can push myself to those areas. In fact, to give you an example, I go to a Spanish church and I'm learning Spanish, and I'm trying to help out as much as possible. So, those kind of things.
That is awesome.
Awesome.
That is So it's you're
Okay.
speaking to all the perfectionists that have plans and yeah, to kind of that's very that's really
To
inspiring.
give you an idea, like the planning, like middle school and high school, I knew like, okay, I need to be involved with as many clubs as possible. I need to be involved in sports. I know what kind of grades I need to get because I knew I wanted to get scholarships for college, and stuff like that. So I ended up getting like a full ride, 6 scholarships and stuff like that. And I just kind of planned things along the way, but trying to be countering that because I've had that stage in life. I'm much
Yeah.
older now. I don't have to have I do have to have some type of plan, but I want to see what happens if I keep growing in this area and not being in a rut.
Yeah, that's great.
Awesome.
That is great.
It's also in this book, it says to grow yourself, you must stretch yourself. So to grow yourself, you must, expand. You must go beyond your limits. So for you to grow, you must stretch yourself. It's not convenient. It could be painful. You could go through some pains, but you're on a path to growing.
Yeah, definitely. And I'll give one quick example. I'm in a running club, and I run sometimes with a group, but I just run at people's paces. But it's now I'm giving myself the opportunity to run at my own pace, which is much faster than them. And so a lot of times I kind of hold myself back because I just want to help coach. And sometimes, so now it's kind of being a little bit more selfish in some ways of just saying, what can my limits be? So I still do the group thing, but I do a workout right before I go to the group just to stretch that limit.
Yeah, that's awesome. And that's not being selfish. It's like stretching yourself. Others need to learn. You can be on the same page. It says a leader knows it all and shares. You've got to lead to be able to impact others coming behind you. If you are on the same level, that means you're not learning from each other. So it is said that somebody must be there and you are trying to get there. You understand? So you must show skill and, you are stretching yourself. You don't know what others are doing. So if you're stretching yourself, you would often stand out in the things you do. And in standing out, others will be like, oh, I have a model to copy. I want to be like him. I want to get, and some will come to you and say, oh, what are you doing, Roy? That makes you stand out. You do this easily, you do this, and you'll be able to coach them. That I do this, I go extra mile, I do this and this before coming to the running side. So it's nothing to be, it's not selfish or there's nothing like being selfish. You're doing what you need to do to grow and to also stand out. Thank you so much. I appreciate those words. Really encouraging. You need to stretch yourself to grow yourself. Okay. I think Sherry, Stephanie, what do you think? Sherry's yet to speak. The other Sherry.
Sherry, you want to share? Hi, Sherry.
Something before we say bye for the day.
We have about a couple minutes, but we can't hear you, Sherry. If you want to share, you have about.
Now, can you hear me?
Yeah, now we can hear you.
I don't know why my video is not working. My camera's lit up.
No, we can see you. We can see you. Yeah, just to warn you.
Okay, so speaking of stretching my limits, I am very stretched out right now. I'm feeling small, kind of overwhelmed. I'm doing this gym quick program, and I'm studying for project management certification all at the same time. 1 month prior to this, I wasn't doing anything. So what happened, the timing and how things occurred and just the timing of everything. So while I understand I need to stretch myself, I'm a little bit overwhelmed because it's kind of scary. Like I wasn't on a growth path, a couple of months ago. Now I'm growing in every which way, including this. But anyway, the challenge is definitely there for me, but I hope I'm up to it. I mean, I got to give it my all because I committed to those 3 things. So I don't know. Just that overwhelming sense.
Yeah.
Sherry,
Yeah, you would.
Sherry, in knowing that you are kind of stretching yourself to the limit, that's also a good thing. You're in the opposite end of the spectrum as some of us here, and that's perfectly fine. Some of us need to stretch ourselves a little more. In your case, you have determined and you've realized that you are at the limit, that maybe you're starting to be overwhelmed. This is good because you've realized that. Now you also need to understand that when you are at that stage, maybe you need to take a step back or at least assess what is important for you that you need, that you can move forward in, not necessarily to drop anything else, but to at least give yourself that fine balance. You don't want to overstretch yourself that you're going to burn yourself out, and once you burn
Yeah.
yourself out, you're not going to like or enjoy any of those things that you are associated with now. So do ask yourself, do you want to lose all that you've started, or do you at least want to step back on one and move forward in the others? Just find that balance. I think you're doing well. At least you've determined where you are, and that's important.
Sure.
Thanks for that.
Thank you, Darn.
Thank
Thank you, Sherry,
you.
for speaking.
sharing.
And that's a great one. Dan rightly said it. You might have to just step down a bit, you know, and get a right balance for you to move on, so that you don't break or get to a point of breaking, such that you will not be able to learn any of those things you are pushing yourself to learning. So it's a time to, you know, take an assessment of what you're doing and what you need to do or what you need to stop doing so that you can have a balance. Thank you so much, everyone. I want to thank you, Seth, Stephanie, Dan, Sherry, Roy, and the other Sherry, Tamar, Robin. I want to say thank you so much for today. Really exciting, really mind-blowing, your answers, your questions. Very great one. And we are working towards the next 2 weeks and the chapter 3. It says the law of the mirror. I'm sure, let's get to read chapter 3 before we meet next week, Friday. It's going to be an awesome sharing, and we will glean from each other. Thank you so much, everyone, for making it today.
Yeah. Thank you, everyone. Have a great week. And
Bye.
we'll
Thank
see you. Okay. Aloha.
Bye.
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 Steph, Sandra, I just want to ask you something.
Okay.
Yes.
Sometimes I get compelled to speak out to kind of get everybody involved. And
Love
I
it.
understand, but sometimes I'm wondering that, if I'm beginning to speak too much, maybe too much for you guys,
No.
I'm
No.
also
When I
fine.
say
Just
I'm
let me
like
know.
you, when I say I'm like you, I talk all the time. I'm just trying to caution myself not to. She knows me. Oh, she's like, oh my God, Sandra, where you getting
Right,
this energy from? I
right.
talk everywhere I get to, people get to know that it's Sandra there.
Exactly. And I always, and like you, I want to share
Yeah, you want to. It's
share
just the
things,
positive mind that you
experience.
You
have.
folks are,
Right.
yeah, you guys
Yeah.
are so cute.
But
Both of you.
there's a part of me that says, oh, I hope I'm not talking too much. That, because there's a point where people will start to get turned off, like, okay, he
Yeah.
just,
No.
and I want to and I want you to, specifically you two, to let me know if I ever
No,
start
it's
getting close to
awesome.
that limit,
No, it makes the class
then
very
yeah.
interesting.
Yeah. It's
It's
good.
an interesting one because if you don't speak, sometimes others don't speak.
Yeah.
But you
Exactly.
bail the cat out of the bag, and once you say something, everybody wants to speak.
Yeah.
Yeah,
You
exactly.
activate
is
everybody
helpful.
to say something.
Yeah.
So it's a good one.
Yeah. I'm glad that it's really helpful, Dan, that you're providing feedback to the other people as well.
Mhm.
Because it's not only me and Sandra, you know what I mean?
Right,
that
right,
makes it
exactly.
like we all are supposed to be participating, which is good. This is what we
Yeah.
want. Yeah.
And that was the intent. But I also need to know that if I am overstepping my line, especially because for you two, that I have no problems with you correcting me or letting me know. Because
Yeah.
I
Okay.
definitely don't want to be,
Yeah. Don't worry.
overstepping.
Yeah.
It's been
Good.
2 weeks of awesome training. Thank you so much, Dan.
Thank
You two are
you.
doing
It's
awesome.
interesting.
Yes.
So
We can't
yeah.
wait to get you started, Dan, for the
Dan Maxwell?
your yeah, he's got to get
I
started on his masterminds and doing workshops. Oh yeah. You'll be really good.
at some
Dan is
point.
really good. Yeah.
So
Dan, we are
yes,
available
and
to assist you. If you need help from any of us,
Yeah.
you can give us a call.
I believe that and I appreciate that. So yes, thank you very much. But anyway, I need to let you two talk and
Okay.
discuss what you need to.
Thank
So I
you.
better sign out. Thank you and have a great weekend, both of
Bye.
Thank
you.
you. Okay,
Bye.
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 Okay, how do I stop recording?
Stop recording.
Oh, here, I'll stop it.